ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं वादरायणं सूत्रभाष्य कृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। वर्ष नंबर 389। स्वयं ब्रह्मा स्वयं विष्णु स्वमिन्द्रा स्वयं शिवः स्वयं विश्वम् इदं सर्वं तस्मादन्यं न किञ्चन। I repeat one more time. स्वयं ब्रह्मा स्वयं विष्णु स्वयं इंद्र स्वयं शिव स्वयं विश्वमिदं सर्वं तस्मात् अन्यं न किंचन. The translation is: the self is Brahma, the self is Vishnu, the self is Indra, the self is Shiva, the self is this entire universe. Indeed, nothing exists apart from the self. See, one more time translation. The self is Brahma, the self is Vishnu, the self is Indra, the self is Shiva, the self is all this universe. Nothing exists except the self. In previous verses, we have studied Rajju Tattvat Vishwam Atma Sarupam. The entire universe is imposed on the substratum as snake is imposed into rope. Once rose has known, then the imaginary serpent disappears. Same, once the Atma Sarup, the substratum of the universe, has known, the universe will disappear. Entire universe is imagined in the self, in the consciousness. It has been said, if substratum had been known, all imaginary object will disappear and only substratum will remain. In this verse, Shankaracharya is trying to say what a realized person has experienced. He is saying the entire universe, whether subtle or gross, it is just projected in the self. So consciousness is real. All projections are appearance. We think that The gross world is imaginary. It is okay. But the divine world may be other than the self. They may have their own separate entity. That is why Sankaracharya start from divine worlds. Swayam Brahma, Swayam Vishnu, Indraha, Swayam Shiva. Swayam means self. Swayam means consciousness. Swayam means Sat Chid Anand. Swayam means your own essential nature. And Indra, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Ganesh, Shakti are other divine forms. There are so many divine forms, unlimited. In our scriptures has been said, there are unlimited gods. These gods, these forms, all are just expression of the self. They are manifestation of the self. Of course, their bodies are different. Indra is different, Varuna is different, Surya is different, Shiva is different, Vishnu is different, like us. Your body is different, my body is different. Everyone has a different body, different identity. In subtle, in divine world also, every deity has its own separate body. Be attentive. They have their own separate body. That is why Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Rudra, Yam, Agni, they all are different. Their bodies are different. Their work are different. Their activity, all are different. But their essential nature is one. In body level, they are different, but their soul is one. So same soul is Brahma, same soul is the Indra, same soul is the Vishnu. Soul is not different. Bodies are different. To understand this, in Bhagavad Gita, I remember the incidents of Lord Sri Krishna when he was giving a discourse to the Arjuna. See the Lord's attitude. Krishna is the incarnation of the Lord. He can express himself in two ways. One is like a common man. He was the son of Vasudeva. His mother was Yashoda or Devaki. He was father. He was son. He was friends. Body level, he has all relations. But in Gita, when Arjuna asked, "Oh Krishna, tell me your nature. What is your reality?" Then Sri Krishna said to the Arjuna, It is Vibhuti Yoganam, chapter in Bhagavad Gita. He says, I am amongst the mountains, I am the Himalaya. Amongst the rivers, I am the Ganga. When he says, I am the Himalaya, what does it mean? Himalaya is inert. Himalaya is a mountain, and he is a human being. Either Lord Sri Krishna is telling lie, or he is talking about very different level. Yes, he is not telling lie. Level different. He can stay in two levels, like human being and like a god. And same time, he can live in two ways. He is a god also, he is a human being also. He is the father of his sons, and he is the father of the universe. I am the Himalaya, I am the Ganges, I am the Vedas, I am the cow, I am the tree. So these statements are true when he is talking about self. So this statement is given because of now he is talking about self. Here, Indra is Indra. Indra is not Shiva. It had happened in scriptures. There was a rishi. His name was Upamanyu. He went forest for a boon from the Lord Shiva. And he did very great austerity. In front of the rishi, Upamanyu, Indra was appeared. Actually, this was not Indra, this was Lord Shiva in form of the Indra. And he says, Upamanyu, I am very happy with your penance. Ask me, what do you want? I can give you anything. The rishi says, no, I will not take anything from you. See, my points. The rishi is wanting a boon from Lord Shiva. Indra is saying, you take any boon, I can give you, I am Lord Indra. Rishi denies. He says, no, I will not take anything from you. I will take it from the Lord Shiva. You are not Shiva. You are Indra. My point is, and he denies. Finally, Lord Shiva appears as a Shiva and he gave bones to the rishi. Lord Shiva can become Indra. Lord Shiva can become Shiva. But when bodies are different, their works are different. Indra is not Shiva, Shiva is not Indra. But essentially, they are not different. The experience of this is the experience, self is the Indra, self is the Shiva, self is the Vishnu. To understand this experience, it will convert I am the Shiva, I am the Vishnu, I am the Indra, I am the Yama. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, because the topic is very, very important, so I am giving some quotations from another Upanishad. It is a Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. It is said that people who acquired Brahma as their endowment, who were well versed in knowledge of the Brahman, the science of the self, possessed everything. It is said that people in ancient times had this knowledge, and through this knowledge they become the all. They possessed the all. But what was that knowledge with which they were endowed? What was that knowledge by which they becomes all? This is the question. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a small incident. It was asked. Then there has been said, Brahman, the absolute alone was before creation. Before creation, there was alone Brahman, truth. Nothing else was. There was no object, and it knew itself alone. That is goal of Brahma Vidya. We know many things. We are efficient in the various branches of the knowledge, various branches of the learning. We are experts in science and arts of the world. We have much knowledge. But this knowledge is not sufficient. This knowledge calls for liberation. So there is a question, what knowledge the gods had and they become happy? This was the question. Then there is a saying, I am the all. I am the absolute. And Aham Brahmasmi. The quotation is there, Aham Brahmasmi. I am the Brahman. I am the all. I am the absolute. And whoever knows this become the all. This is the essence of Brahma Vidya, the highest wisdom of life. So when the gods had this knowledge and their realization, their experience was same, which are written by Shankaracharya. I am the Brahma, I am the Vishnu, I am the Shiva. Another incident is there. There was a great master of an ancient time. His name was Vamdev. Vamdev. In Upanishads, there are written, Vamadevo Mukta Sukha Mukta. They are liberated. So it has been said about Bamdev having this knowledge, having awakened himself to this divine status. And Bamdeva began to proclaim his experiences. And very strange thing was, he was saying, I am the Indra, I am the Varun, I am this. But very strange thing was, that time he was womb of his mother. He had not even come out of the womb of the mother. He was inside, in the womb only. He was in the womb. And suddenly, there was a flash inside of realization. And he began to realize his cosmic existence. That is because his prarabdha was exhausted. That moment, he entered womb. Actually, he had only that much of karma as to compel him to take birth in the womb. When this moment he entered in the womb, his all karmas exhausted. And he had the consciousness of universe existence. And in his mother's womb, he realized. And he realized his experiences was, I am not small baby inside. I am not small baby inside of my mother. I was sun shining in the sky. I was Manu, the progenitor of this world. See experiences. I am not small baby. I am the sun. I am the moon. I am the yam. I am the kuber. Everything. Swayam Brahma, Swayam Vishnu, Swayam Indra, Swayam Shiva. I am the all. Lord Sri Krishna said in Gita, I am this one, I am this, I am this, I am this. In mother's womb, Maharishi Bamdev says, I am not small baby. I am the sun who is shining in the sky. I am Yam. He was the great master. Even today, this experience can be had. Not merely in ancient times, during the time of Bamdeva, even this day, it can be attained, provided the conditions should be fulfilled. If you get the science of knowledge, you will experience same thing. Swayam Brahma, Swayam Vishnu. This statement is a person who has realized. If you become realized, your statement would be same. Swayam Vishwamidam Sarvam Sasma Danya Kinchana. The all universe, the entire universe, nothing apart from the self. The entire universe is just an expression of the self in different forms. The entire universe, whether subtle or gross, just expression of the self, it is not different. Nanyat kinchana. Now next one. Swayam chapi vahi, swayam cha swayam purastat, anta swayam chapi vahi, swayam cha swayam purastat swameva paschat, swayam havacyam swayam mudicyam tato paristat swayam adastat. I repeat again. Anta swayam chapi vahi swayam cha swayam purastat swameva paschat स्वयं सेवाच्याम स्वयं उदीच्याम यथो परिष्टात स्वयं अधस्तात्. The meaning is the self is within, the self is without, the self is in front, the self is behind, the self is to the south, the self is to the north, so too it is above and below. Very, very wonderful statement. One more time, translation. The self is within and self is without. Self is before and self is behind. The self is on the south and self is the north. And self likewise is above as well as below. Self. Consciousness. Now he is making it clearer. Now he takes you and your gross body. In previous verse, he took the divine world and all universe to explain the self. In this verse, he takes you, your gross body. He says, first idea is I am the body. I am limited in this particular body. This is the first idea. Then all imaginations start. If I am limited, I am only in this body, then all imaginations start. There are something within, there are so many things without. And I am surrounded by all phenomena. Unlimited objects all around me. There is consciousness and many inert objects. All the directions when you are identified with the body. You are attached with the body. When we are attached, conditioned by the body, then there are different directions, places, space from you. This is our experience when we are in ignorant state. When we are ignorant state, then this is me, my body, this is the world, this is right, this is left, this is above, this is below. All directions. But when someone realized, then what happens? His experience is very different. The realized person's experience is very different. What is its realization? It was, I am the self. I am not the body. Then your experience will be totally changed, totally different. Like a devotee of a God. And it is extremely God devotee. And he sees everywhere, God is everywhere. God is everywhere. God is omnipresent. He can experience. It is not saying, this is not philosophy for the devotee. God is everywhere, God is omnipresent. It is not just a philosophy for the devotee, it is an experience. He experiences everywhere, God is with me. Everywhere, God is present. Here, the knower of the self experiences only self. There is no any direction. There is no any division. This experiences is being described here. Shankaracharya says, no within, no without. In body, there is within and without. In self, there is no within, no without. If you are body, then there is within, without, there is right, left. But if you are self, consciousness, there is no within, there is no without, no right, no left, no north, no west, south, no above, no below. If you are body, then everything is there. Right is right, left is left. They are both different points, extremely different. Right is not left, left is not right. You cannot make their combination. Above is above, below is below. It is not possible to make them both one. They are different. Shankaracharya says, Swayam Purasta, Swameva Paschat, Swam Avachyam, Samudichyam. The realized person experiences only self is everywhere. Only self is everywhere. No south, no north. All directions disappears. All space, time will disappear. Self is remain everywhere. Udichyam tatho parishta swayam adhasta. And here, adha means below, upari means upper. It means you're above as well as below, only divine presence. Only divine is everywhere. Actually, there are labels of the body and mental conditions. We are in middle. Human being, human birth, just in middle. We are in middle. There are above level. Above means there are gods, heaven, divinity. They are higher than us. We are below from them. And there are many lower from us, like animals, birds, creatures, insects, below than us. We are in middle. Actually, in this creation, everyone is in middle. In this creation, God's creation, very, very strange. Everyone is in the middle because it is circle. Here, no any extreme points. That is why in Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Nachiketa said to his father, "O father, Bahunam Prathamo Yemi, Bahunam Yemi Madhyama." There are so many people, I am intelligent more than them. And there are so many people, they are intelligent than me. I am in the middle. So everyone is middle. Somewhere you are superior and somewhere you are inferior. But if you are realized, you have experienced self, your knowledge is self-oriented, then everything is divine. You are also divine. You are also divine. Nothing is non-divine. Nothing non-divine does not exist. Nothing divine. Only divine is everywhere. Believe yourself. You are divine. And everything is divine. Yourself. You are not other than pure self. Now next one. Taranga fena brahma budbudadi sarvam sarupena jalam yatha tatha chideva dehat aha antametat sarvam chideva raseka roop vishuddham. I repeat again. Taranga fena brahma budbudadi sarvam sarupena jalam yatha tatha chideva dehat amantametat sarvam chideva ekarasam visuddham. See the translation. Just as the waves, the surf, the whirlpool, the bubbles, etc. are all in essence nothing but water, so too consciousness alone is everything from the body, etc. to the ego. Truly everything is homogeneous, pure consciousness only. I repeat again the translation. Translation, listen very carefully. As the waves and the foam, the whirlpool, the bubble, etc. are all in essence but water. Similarly, the Chit, knowledge, absolute, is all this from the body up to egoism. Everything is barely the Chit, homogeneous and pure. Now he is giving an example to make us understand this philosophy, this Siddhant. As in the sea, there are many modifications. A sort of modifications of the water. There are so many modifications. He is giving an example of ocean. Ocean means the water. Ocean is not different from the water. Without water, ocean is not possible. So take an example of ocean or water. In this water, there are so many waves. Small waves, big waves, waves born and die. And another waves comes and go. Where? In the waters. Nothing is happening in the waters. If wave dies, it makes no difference in the waters. If any waves take birth, it is not a matter of happiness to the waters, because nothing has happened to the waters. For a moment, there is a wave. And another form is foam. Because of the waves, there happens foam. This is also modification of the water, a white color. And whirlpool also takes place where? In the water. And bubbles also. And somewhere ice also. All modifications happens where? In the water. So water is truth. Water is absolute. Without water, nothing can be possible. So its essence is water. Their worth, their depth, their shape, size, durability are not any matter to the water, because they do not have their own separate entity. Just the water. See, when a big wave takes place, the ocean does not say it is very, very, very good. It happens. So only water is there. Water is playing. Same. Similarly, consciousness is playing in unlimited varieties. The entire universe, whether it is a gross or it is subtle. And you are the ocean of consciousness. Here, self does not mean any other. Self means you. Believe yourself. You are consciousness. You are not inert. The principle has been said about you, not for anything else. You are upper, you are lower, you are left, right, everywhere. You are. So, see, the beginning, some avat Chideva Dehat Ahamantam Etat, Sankaracharya says, only Chid, Chaitanya, consciousness is everywhere. The entire universe. Universe means here, Sankaracharya says, Dehadi Ahamant. The beginnings of the creation is ego sense. And its last creation is the body. From the body to ego sense is the creation. There are sense organs, there are mind, intellect, pranas, so many things. So everything is just consciousness, nothing else. In the beginning, when we just started to study Upanishad or Vedanta, it has been said, you are not the body. You are not prana. Mano buddhi chitta nyankar. This was right. But now, a seeker has reached state of realization, then the body, the prana, the mind appears different way. Now, body is not body, body is consciousness. Prana is consciousness. Mind is consciousness. Nothing apart from the consciousness. Everything is a consciousness. Now, next one. सदैव इदं सर्वं जगद अवगतं वाङ् मनशयो सतो अन्यास्त्येव प्रकृति परिशीम्नि स्थितवता पृथक् विवृत् स्नायः कलशघटकुम्भाद्यवगतं वदत्तेषा भ्रान्तस्त्वमिति माया मदिरय. I repeat again. सदैव इदं सर्वं जगद अवगतं वाङ् मनशयो सतो अन्य नास्त्येव प्रकृति परिशीम्नि स्थितवता पृथक् किं मृत्स्नायः कलशघटकुम्भाद्यवगतं वदत्तेषा भ्रान्त्या अहमिति माया मदिरया. See the translation. The entire universe known through speech and mind is nothing but Brahman. There is nothing but Brahman which exists even beyond the pale of Prakriti. Can the particular jug, pot, etc. ever be anything other than the clay of which they are made? Drunk with the wine of illusion Maya, the deluded person talks of you and me. Now he is giving more explanation. When we know Brahman, when we know the Brahman by sense and by mind, sense of perception and by mind, then it appears as a inert, as a world, as a universe. It will appear as a material, as an object. In fact, it is not insentient. It is insentient. Because our instruments are made from the Prakriti. They can read only the Prakriti. They cannot reach to the Paramatma. Shankaracharya says very, very beautifully, Sadeva idam jagat sarvam bang manashayo. If you know by sense organs, by mind, then the same Brahman will appear as a universe. There is no truth, just inert. But when someone goes beyond the Prakriti, the realm of the Prakriti, when someone crosses and enters the kingdom of the God, pure Paramatma, it will happen only if you cross the limit of the Prakriti, Triguna, Sattva, Raja, Tama, mind. So once one established in the self, then the self-realization makes seeker capable to see the self. Then duality will vanish. Duality? What duality? Sentient, non-sentient. All opposite poles will disappear. Prakriti parishimni sthitavata prathak kim. Once, if you have crossed the limit of the nature of Prakriti, Maya, then your experience will be very different. The world will disappear and Brahman will appear. Now, in Prakriti, in Maya, we are experiencing everything in the Maya. Because our approach is mind and sense organs. Once, if you have crossed the limit of Prakriti, then your realization will be very, very different. From that standpoint, you will see only Sad eva idam, Shankaracharya says in this. Sad eva idam. Idam, this all is Sat, only truth. There is no object. He is giving an example like jar, pot, which are made from the earth. They are just earth, not else. Same, if you know the Atman, everything is the Atman, everything is the soul. Only deluded person, deluded man talks about you and me, like a person who is under influence of alcohol, drug. His mind is not working properly. You do not believe him. They are saying you, I, they, duality. They can talk about only duality. They do not have any experience of non-duality. Now, last one. क्रिया समविहारेण यत्र नान्यदीति श्रुतिः ब्रवीति द्वैतराहित्यं मिथ्याध्यास निवृत्तये. I repeat again. क्रिया समविहारेण यत्र नान्यदीति श्रुतिः ब्रवीति द्वैतराहित्यं मिथ्याध्यास निवृत्तये. The meaning is, with many predicates, Shruti declares the absence of duality. With the phrases where there is nothing else, etc., the order of remove all false superimpositions. See the one more time. The Shruti in passages where one sees nothing else, etc., declares by an accumulation of verbs the absence of duality in order to remove the false superimpositions. Still, Shankaracharya ji was giving logic to make us understand. And he was right. But now he is giving a proof from the Vedas. He says, this is not my own experience. I am not authority completely. Authority, supreme authority, the Vedas. And Vedas also saying same thing. Not only one time, many, many times. Kriya samaviharena. So many times. Vedas are saying about non-duality. Oneness is absolute truth. It was before creation. It will remain destruction of the creation, and it is right now. Duality is unreal. But this unreal becomes so strong, it appears so powerful, so solid, to deny it is very difficult, almost impossible. That is why Vedas saying again and again, again and again, same thing. Here he is giving a quotation from the Chandogya Upanishad. He is giving Nanyat iti Shruti. In Chandogya Upanishad, there is an incident, there is a dialogue between Sanat Kumar and Narad. Narad was very miserable, and he reached to the Sanat Kumar in the Himalaya, and then dialogue begins. Narad had so many questions. Why I am unhappy? I know this, I know this, I know this, I know everything. But I am not happy. But I have heard, like you, the knower of the Brahman gets happiness. In this discourse, Sanat Kumar said to the Narad, Yo vai bhuma tat sukham. O Narad, Where is Bhuma? There is only happiness. Then he asked, what the Bhuma? What the Bhuma? And that time, Sanat Kumar says, Bhuma means unlimited. In this condition, this state, where one sees nothing except oneself, where one hears nothing except oneself, where one understands nothing except oneself, that is the Bhuma, the absolute. And where one sees something outside oneself, where one hearing something from himself, is the dualism. It is a cause for misery. In Bhuma, unlimited. You see, but only self. Self is everywhere. You hear any word, just self you are hearing. You watching everything, just self you are watching. Self is everywhere. Where that's the Bhuma. So here Shankaracharya says, Kriya Samaviharena Yatra Nanyat Iti Sruti. In Vedas, there are so many times it has been said only dualism is cause for liberation. So just forget and get the non-dualism, oneness, Dvaitarayityam, then the all superimposition will disappear. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Santi Shanti Santi. Shankaram Sankaracharyam Ishavam Vadarayanam Sutra Vasikritau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Chinamurtaye Namaha. Om Santi Santi Santi.